What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I am joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Choops, how we doing, buddy?
Sell out. Look at that shirt. Oh, my goodness. Jeez.
I needed a t-shirt to wear. It happened that this was clean.
Happened to be the one.
Don't read into it.
Okay.
Don't read into it.
Okay.
Don't read into it. Look,
he's back.
I stand
folks. He's back. Eric's back on board.
I stand by everything that I said about CM Punk. I'm not backpedaling. I'm not flip-flopping. I'm not acting like I never said it. And you and I both know that we know more than a few people that like to do that to us very often. I'm not going to do that to you. Okay. All that if we're going to just start like this today, this is okay. Fine.
I was going to say, I can go to my kitchen real quick and get me a knife and fork so you can, cut up your words before you eat them.
No, that's fine. No, they'll get on easy with a high noon.
CM Punk. CM Punk. CM Punk.
Look.
Yeah.
He's got away with look, I don't even know how to explain this. Look. I didn't think it would happen. Yeah.
You've had one of those days. I had to give it to you.
I have had one of those days, and I am in a much better mood than I thought that I was going to be when I texted you and said that I was going to be all chapped ass and whatnot today. But not today. We're one day close to the weekend. It's basically the weekend. So let's talk some wrestling, dude. Can we just what can we?
I have to work tomorrow. It's not the weekend.
Well, I have to work too, but I mean, it might as well be the weekend.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we live different lives.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Do all the intro stuff.
Yeah, of course. As always, thank you so much for joining us. If you are new to this channel, welcome. We're a couple of dudes that just like to talk some wrestling after long days at work. If you have been here before, welcome back. As always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to get those numbers out. One quick housekeeping note. Our interview with Landon Hale will be dropping tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We had a chance to talk to him earlier this week as he prepares for a big match this weekend. And again, as always, thank you, Landon, for joining us. Can't wait for you guys to check this one out. We've got a couple more great interviews lined up for December, so we're really ending the year strong. So again, help us to get those numbers up. Help us to grow this community. We love talking wrestling, and we love sharing what we do with you guys. Now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, now can we talk wrestling? Damn it, what?
I have one huge announcement. I don't know if you were on the text, but I do have a text from Johnny Van Frank. He got stuck in the Poconos over the last week and will be returning on Monday. Just wanted to let you know. He will be back, guys. Okay. I know we've missed Johnny. He will be back. His flight was delayed.
That's fine. Tully will be back next week as well. He is out in LA seeing Indigo Sky at House of Blues, so happy for him. Enjoy the show.
He just made up half those words.
Can we now? Did I? Those were all words, all in the English language. You want me to get my dictionary?
Pretty sure indigo is not English.
Indigo is English.
It's Spanish.
Look it up. Just look it up. Look it up.
Just go.
What's wrong with you today?
You're wearing a
I thought I was going to be the chapped one. And
yeah, that's what's wrong with me. How dare you? That's what's wrong.
Oh, I knew that would get a rise out of you. Yeah, it was. You know what? Worth it.
It did.
Worth it. Totally fine.
How'd you like Dynamite last night?
Dynamite was solid. I think, and I mean, I don't have the Taker Ready match by match this time. I apologize. But I mean, really, the big emphasis was on the Continental Classic. We had some more advancement in the MJF World Title saga right now, and.
Let's talk about that, huh?
I know.
Okay. Can we talk about that?
Do you want to start there? Like, would that make you feel better?
I do.
Okay, sure.
MJF,
So
nice promo from MJF. I enjoyed the fiery promo, and he mentioned your boy CM Punk in his promo, so that was a good name drop. Cody as well.
No, don't call. Hey, don't make him my boy just because I'm wearing the T-shirt. Okay,
I know how much of a CM Punk fan you are. Obviously I can tell. You have 17,000 wrestling shirts. That's the only one that's clean. I don't believe it. But overall, like a good promo. And then it happened. Then the sports entertainment happened, I will say. And I told you before the show I wanted to read 2 tweets. One was from Corey Graves. When this was happening, did you see what Corey Graves tweeted?
No, I did not.
He put out a 1-word tweet that said, "Retribution?" ? Yeah.
Damn.
When
you hear it like that,
like
that's not great.
I'm kind of done with this as well. Like it's not
taken them too long to get to the reveal, would you say?
Correct. This has been too long, and AEW's like, it's weird because I think they're trying to do both right now, and I think they need to pick a lane. Either you're a pro wrestling company or you're a sports entertainment company. When you have MJF cutting a fiery promo about being a great pro wrestler and how awesome Samoa Joe is, and then in the same segment have that hokey crap, it's like you got to pick one or the other. And like you said, the whole show was kind of built on the Continental Classic, which is more pro wrestling oriented. So
yeah,
I understand storytelling, and you can do that without having kind of the sports entertainment aspect of it. But I kind of feel like this is almost jumped the shark a little bit, and I think they need to get to this reveal sooner rather than later. I don't know if you had heard like the commentary during the whole thing or anything like that, but it was like these guys hacked into AEW's like IT system and just completely
kidding me.
And like invaded the show, and the commentators couldn't say anything until the after. And then Tony Khan made the match, and they were all shocked that Tony Khan made the match. Like, why would he do that? Like, it is a weird angle, and I'm ready for it to be done because I think you could do so much better with MJF right now. I think the initial intrigue of it was really, really good, but now I'm done with it.
And that's, I think the ultimate irony of that is this flies in the face of QT Marshall announcing that he is resigning from AEW, and there being a lot of backstage chatter about why he's leaving, and the why being that he feels AEW is trying to, mimic the same presentation as New Japan as far as being focused on the storytelling of the match as opposed to a greater arc or narrative that leads to the confrontations. So, to have that be one concern on one hand, and then we see this attack, and now that I have the additional context of what happened on commentary and how that match got made, I did know that they were going to do the tag team match, but this is it's they can't have it both ways, and it feels very much like they're trying to at times, and that's not great.
And at this point, like, so let's say this devil group or whatever, I don't even know what they're called. Let's say they win the tag titles next week. What happens? Like, and ultimately,
big reveal.
Well, ultimately, like, it's not going to be CM Punk. I don't think it's going to be Adam Cole.
No.
Who's going to be the reveal that's going to be big enough to kind of pay this off? Because if it's like
Vince, that's why he grew the mustache.
No, please don't. Because I've seen like online stuff about maybe it's Tony Khan. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. That would be awful. It would be awful.
Yeah,
I don't need it. I don't need another evil authority figure in my wrestling. I've had enough of that. I don't need any more. I'm done. I'm done with that.
Like I mean, the times have just changed. I mean, it's an easy story to tell. Sure, I would give them that if they did, but what benefit is there to do it? I mean, even WWE has now finally gotten away from that, and I mean that's been the last 25 years, and we've been complaining about it for the last 10.
Yeah, no, the whole authority era was awful, and I don't need it. It's been it's been beaten into the ground. They beaten the dead horse. Whatever you want, whatever phrase you want. Like, it's not good. I don't want to see it anymore, at least for a while.
Yeah,
at least until something is
Tony
compelling. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and no, you're good. And Tony Khan, I mean, I've got no problem with him making matches and doing that into Shivani's ear or any other commentator's ear because it's his company. Everybody knows that. So, it's fine if he wants to make the matches, make the matches. But I don't necessarily need him to be a character to do it. Also, because I mean, we see how he gives just even pre-recorded announcements. I'm not buying him as an evil villain. I'm just not.
Well, no, and I don't want him out there cutting live promos. Like I just
Ugh.
he say what you want about Tony. Like I think what Tony has done for the wrestling business has been very good. And of
Yeah,
course, I'm going to say that and then say but whatever. I don't
so
care.
that's fine.
The haters are going to hate. But like he's not a great public speaker. He's just not. And
And that's the biggest fear in the world. That's the
yeah,
number one fear.
and he's just not. I don't think he would fit well in that role, and it'd be hard because I think everybody really likes Tony Khan, and it would be hard to almost buy him as that evil figure. Like Vince was pretty easy to buy because it was like, oh, this guy's probably a dick outside of work, and what we've learned about Vince is he was, and that was just how he was. Like Tony doesn't seem like that person, so I don't want that. I'm not saying that they're going to do that. I've just been seeing like
Yeah,
people guessing of who the devil's going to be. I've seen like a
yeah.
Jack Perry, which not. I don't know how great that would be. Like it has to be like a huge major name. I don't even know like if an Osprey would. Like I don't even think that would be like. I just don't know where
Yeah,
they're
because
going with this.
the argument then is okay. Well, why didn't he just come in with the United Empire and start wreaking havoc? I mean, especially with the shine that Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis have gotten from coming over and working the tag division there. Like you guys could have just done that in the first place, unless they were worried that Osprey wouldn't sign full time to keep the story going. But even then, just
Yeah, like I don't
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's jump the shark. I'm ready for it to be over. Like just get to the reveal, which I don't think we're going to get to until maybe World's End. But yeah, I'm just like even like just last night when like the lights were flashing and everything, and you saw the guys get into the ring, you
Yeah.
saw MJF kind of get in position. So it's like that mystery of it wasn't very good. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They also use
And
the
it,
lights out trope way too much.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pro wrestling. Everybody does that.
I know, but it seems like it's happened a lot lately.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But yeah, like MJF, like, we'll see if he can continue to work through the injury. The match at World's End with Samoa Joe will probably be good because I think Samoa Joe is really really good. I think he's at the top of his game right now. I don't know if Samoa Joe wins with the injury. We don't know. Like I just that at least
Yeah.
gives me a little bit more intrigue into the match. Is I don't know if MJF can continue to wrestle. He's going to try to work through it, but I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, like I don't know. I'm ready for, and I've said it, and I've said it, and I've said it, and I've said it. I'm ready for heel MJF again, just because while I think he is completely over with the crowd, and they are literally eating up everything he is doing. Personally, I think he's just a much better heel.
Yeah, and I think that the babyface run was interesting when we knew that there was an end game, and that end game broke his ankle going to save him at Grand Slam.
Yeah, and now we don't know like what is next, and I'm not sure if they know what's next at this point, and that's not a good spot to be in.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
especially when they find themselves trying to be like WWE, and WWE for the better part of the last 2 years has finally figured out the formula for true long-term storytelling.
Yep. Speaking of long-term storytelling, next week we get Edge versus Christian. Sorry, Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage. Is that too soon?
Yes,
I would agree.
I like it. Like I would say, and if I'm Tony Khan, I am doing it no sooner than World's End. And hell, honestly, you probably could have gotten to Revolution without them laying a finger
I
on
think
each
you could
other.
have got
Copeland
to
would
All
have had
In.
enough to get through.
I think you could have easily gotten
Really?
that to All In. That's a big stadium show match. That would be a huge match to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're trying to pop a number in Montreal next week with 2 Canadian guys, main eventing. So, I can't fault them for trying to get their business to continue to boom, but obviously something's not working. They're in a big arena, and I don't think they've sold a ton. So we'll see if tickets move.
Yeah. It definitely feels a bit short-sighted because I can understand wanting to get the TV number out of it. Like I'm not going to act like that's not something that you should focus on because that's their industry. They are in the television industry and wrestling is their product. But if you can put this on pay-per-view, this is the first time these guys have gone one-on-one in over 20 years. Like you can print a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like. You can continue to build this feud so much, like, and the bad blood and the history and everything with it. Have Edge beat what's his name now? Killswitch, I think. Luchasaurus, whatever his name is now. Even though Christian called him Luchasaurus last night, but
he did.
Yeah, like I think they could have used some long-term storytelling on this one and built it out a little bit longer. But I'm not the booker, so I'm not running.
Yeah, the match will be fun. I've got no concerns about the match. They both looked phenomenal in their respective returns, and it's going to be a classic. Should the match take off?
Have you honestly? What? And again, I'm not hating on AEW. I'm really not, because I watch it every week, and I will continue to watch it every week, and I will continue to watch the pay-per-views. Has this Edge run really been like spectacular yet? Like, for me, he still feels out of place.
Like when you say as far as an AEW so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Has it set the world on fire the way that I thought, or the way that I thought that it would? Not particularly. But at the same time, it's really not the worst swap in the world when you really think about it. CM Punk for Edge, basically.
There it is. He had to get his name in. There, you just had to shoehorn him in the conversation, didn't you?
I didn't have to. It was
CM Punk. CM Punk. CM Punk.
You were so determined not to be cool about this.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so is it, has it been a barn burner? No. But the fact that we still get more Edge when he could have just gone and hung it up and we could not have him. Like,
fair.
I can see how there is some benefit to having a name like his on the roster. Like, why the hell not? If you can get him, like, if he wants to wrestle, let him wrestle. That's that's fine. But I don't, it certainly hasn't felt like, and I think a lot of it may, at least in my mind, I would not have put them in that 6-man match at Full Gear. I would have, like, they don't have a reason to lay a hand on each other until they actually get in the ring.
Yeah, and like, they didn't touch at Full Gear, so that's why I think I gave it a pass. Of okay, they were in the match, but they didn't actually.
But there was this still the spear on the go home show before then. Had that match not been booked, we might not have had that spear.
Exactly. That is the one where I'm like, man, you could have just waited. But we'll see what they do. I just think them signing Edge, I think they thought that was going to be a lot bigger deal. And when you look at kind of the, I don't want to say returns because he has never been in AEW, but kind of the surprise elements of people coming into companies, I think he's a little bit lower on the list than we would have expected. That night when he showed up, you and I were both shocked.
Like, what the hell? Yeah. I never thought I'd see the day.
But Survivor Series is more shocking. And like, I think AEW is in a spot right now where they are no longer the new fresh alternative, if that makes sense. Like, they're not in that spot.
Yeah, they're just an alternative, which is fine.
Which is completely fine. But at one point in the last 5 years, it was like AEW's the show that I have to watch no matter what. Like, I don't care if I miss something in WWE. AEW is just firing on all cylinders. Right now, it is an interesting time for that company because they're not firing on all cylinders, right? They're trying new stuff. They're throwing stuff at the board. They're trying to push some things. And like, I think next year in 2024, is going to be a big year for AEW to continue to build on momentum. Maybe going to the monthly pay-per-views will help. Selling out Wembley again will help. But I think next year is going to be a pretty big prove-it year for AEW to see a long-term picture for that, especially when WWE is just absolutely killing it right now. And say what you want about WWE of how it's not wrestling or sports entertainment. There's a lot of eyes on WWE right now, and they are making a lot of money. You cannot tell me that AEW is number one when WWE is clearly the number one. I want to see AEW succeed. I really, really do, because we wouldn't have gotten a Moxley run like we've gotten. We wouldn't got a Swerve run like we've gotten. We wouldn't have gotten an MJF run like we got. Hell, we wouldn't have got Jade Cargill, a Cody Rhodes run. Like, AEW is important, and I want it to do well, but I think next year is just going to be a really, really big year for that company.
Yeah, I mean, this is a different time, and this is a different WWE compared to 1995 when Eric Bischoff has finally taken over and has said, "Hey, let's go head to head on Monday nights." This is not a mom and pop shop anymore. This is not a company that is reeling financially from the steroid trials and all the various lawsuits and things that they have had to deal with in the late 80s and early 90s. This is a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate now. This is an entertainment powerhouse. It's going to take a lot of work for AEW to surpass them in any major metric to say that they are the number one or that they are the market leader in the wrestling industry. Those are just the facts. Like you said, AEW has a purpose in pro wrestling. AEW helped show a lot of people that there are other places to work because of the passion and the fervor and enthusiasm for the industry that Tony Khan has. Sometimes I think for me with AEW, it's, are you trying to be WWE light, or are you trying to create your own name? And like you said, they did the same. Like, he tried to do both within the same segment, and it just doesn't. I didn't get it. I mean, especially now that you've told me, what was said on commentary about hacking into the system. Like, we saw that storyline once, and it didn't work for the biggest wrestling company in the world.
Yeah, unless.
And so far, you're trying something similar, and it's. I'm having the same reaction to this as I did to Retribution.
Yeah, I mean, unless Sami Callihan comes out and is the hacker, then or maybe Mustafa Ali, he comes out and he's the hacker. Both of them have those. That wouldn't be a good reveal. Don't act like that would be good.
I wouldn't mind it if it was Ali. I wouldn't. I really
if the
wouldn't.
guy behind the attacking of MJF is Mustafa Ali.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I like the idea. You don't. Whatever.
I would like to read another tweet for you.
Let's do it. I believe this is from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
This is from Dr. Britt Baker, and I think you know my feelings on Dr. Britt Baker. I think she's a little overrated, but that's just me.
That's fair.
Tonight's
big fan. Don't love that she's in Pittsburgh.
Tonight's AEW Dynamite. MJF live promo time, 7 minutes. Christian Cage live promo time, 10 minutes.
Oh no!
All of 2023 AEW Dynamite. Britt Baker live promo time, 0 minutes. Your thoughts? Yeah, I'm gonna let you digest that one for a second.
So, the first thought that comes to mind is that up until you read that tweet, I was under the impression that she was just doing more of the practice. I wasn't necessarily thinking about whether there's any creative in store for her. I just assumed, hey, I mean, look, there aren't very many people that are also doctors, like that have professional certifications that use them actively while we're wrestling, other than Landon Hale. Cheap plug. Interview comes out tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Look at you. But, I was gonna say, but we had one on our show.
Yeah, we did, and I guess I thought that was it, but that, I mean, Britt Baker seemed to be in very high favor with Tony Khan, ever since the start of this company. She was the first women's talent to be signed to the company. And, I mean, what, 2-time women's champion at this point?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact, I mean, again, I don't get it. It's astonishing. And we can't. And I don't want to fall back on there's not enough TV time. I mean, they created an entire new show for Chick Magnet, and
There
then
it is again.
now that he's not there, there's a lot of space to fill. There's a lot of talent that can be used, and they're just not. And Britt Baker's, I just don't. I will never understand that. I will never understand that. But if she's saying that, and I guess I didn't think about it, but she's had not 1 second of promo time in 2023. Wow,
Live promo. So she may have had a pre-tape
right.
or backstage interview or something like that, but out in the ring live, she's saying that she has not had a promo. It's an interesting tweet because, again, like I don't know the situation. Like I thought, same as you, was she focusing more on the dental practice? Kind of with that, seems like she's not. It kind of seems like she's just not being used, which I don't know why you wouldn't use one of your biggest female stars in a time where your female division is lacking. Hello, Saraya.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Tony, you've lost the plot, my guy. Come on.
It like I said, I think next year's gonna be big. I think next year's gonna be really, really big. Any final thoughts on AEW? Because I have one big question for you, but it does not regard AEW. But any final thoughts on AEW?
Overall, like I said, I didn't hate Dynamite last night. Mox got some more points in the Continental Classic. I think he's got 6 points now. Yeah, great match with Lethal. Swerve and Jay White showed up and showed out. I wasn't necessarily worried about that. Love that Swerve got the win. I mean, at this point, you have to consider him the favorite to win this thing yet. I mean, I can't remember how the leagues are broken up, but Swerve and Danielson is another. I want to see that again. So I'm selfish in that respect. Shout out to Julia Hart. Her match with Emi Sakura last night was amazing. I love that she's bringing the house rules gimmick into her TBS championship reign because that gives her something else that helps her character to stand out. And I mean, where she has come since she left the Varsity Blondes to go to House of Black is not, it's been a hell of a run for her. So I like that this is another layer to her character. And I mean, this just says this is something else that really shows us what she can do in the ring by giving her opponents the advantage and letting them have stipulations. So love that. Any other final thoughts? Wardlow squashed AR Fox. That's bullshit. Anyway, final question. What you got?
Oh, okay. Now I have another question. Did you see his hair?
Wardlow's?
How was all messed up? Like maybe he had just taken a hood off.
No. I never thought about it. I wasn't looking at Wardlow's hair.
Yeah, and then a quick shout out to Timeless Tony Storm, another fun vignette. She will be defending the title next week against whom we don't know, but there was a fun, interesting with Mariah May where she was going into Tony Khan's office. So maybe that's the match, which would hot shot that match as well. I hope not, but another fun wrinkle.
No, we don't need that just yet.
All right, my big question. So your favorite wrestlers come back, CM Punk, and we are. No,
seriously, don't. Let's not do that. Okay, he's still not my favorite.
We
wrestler.
are the big winners as wrestling fans.
We are.
Seth Rollins could be a big winner because he's going to make a lot of money with it. I think Roman Reigns is another big winner because he will get another big money match out of it.
And probably will extend his world title reign.
Who is the biggest loser with CM Punk coming back? Because I have one name in mind.
Okay. I don't know that I have. Oh, man, biggest loser. I am still going to say, I think the first one is, I'm going to say Drew McIntyre, especially if this is a slow burn heel turn for CM Punk, because that could have been a space that we're finally seeing Drew get his footing as a heel, but we're not fully there yet. I think there's still a little bit darker that he could go before he kind of hits that heel and being a top heel on Monday Night Raw. I agree with everybody that the promo that Punk gave on Monday left a lot to be desired. I don't know if that was by design or what. I'm here to make money and not friends. That bit at the end off mic was very telling, I think. And I think I need to see a little bit more about how he interacts with other stars on TV, whether it's, pre-tapes or when he gets a match booked or things like that, to have some more idea of it. But for the sake of answering this question, my belief, I think, is that this is the tease of a CM Punk slow burn heel turn. Rollins is too white hot for you to turn him right now, and I wouldn't do it in the middle of a world title reign. So, I think Punk has to play the heel here. And I think that takes an opportunity away from Drew, who I think, had he gotten darker, could have been somebody that took the title off of Rollins at Mania.
What about on the babyface side? Because I was not thinking Drew. I was thinking...
Sure. Jay.
That's another good one, but I don't think Jay is at that level.
No.
Mine was...
But he does.
And that's kind of who I'm going towards. I think the biggest loser with CM Punk coming back is LA Knight.
Damn. Yeah.
Because Punk is going to get cheered, I think, no matter what at this point. Cody is somehow going to get on SmackDown. And I'm worried that, if they move an LA Knight to Raw, maybe, to kind of counteract what they have with Cody, that he's going to get lost in the shuffle. I am a little worried about LA Knight and his mega babyface pops here in the future. Not that we can't have a ton of top babyfaces, but if you're looking at the pecking order, I think Punk has already jumped an LA Knight. So we will see.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking about the SmackDown side. I kind of went more micro, looking at Raw as opposed to the macro of the entire roster. But yeah, I think that's a genuine concern for sure, because, again, there's only so many other spots to go around. And while I was happy that Knight finally got at least one world title opportunity, I'm certainly not hoping. I'm hoping it's not his last. Having Punk come back, there's going to be a lot of eyes on what he does going into WrestleMania season. So, it works out for Punk that this was the appropriate time for him to come back now that there is no December pay-per-view. And it's basically, hey, we're getting ready for 2024. That's, our TV that's being built right now. So yeah, the return definitely changes things for sure. And yeah, Knight, I don't know. I think that at one point there was an argument that it could be Knight to dethrone him. At the same time, now with CM Punk, it's like, okay, that's a money match. And, while we may have thought that Cody could finish the story this year,
I'm so worried.
that, yeah, like that. It changes everything. I would agree. And yeah, it's just, I think, when you look at Mania this year and all the spots go around, especially, there's 2 nights to the main event. But now, what else do you do if you don't do the Rollins matchup at Mania? This again, and we talked about this. This could, depending on what Austin wants to do, he may decide that it might be worth the money to come in and do a very similar type of fight with Kevin Owens, like he did with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I don't know how much I want to see that, to be honest with you.
Fair,
because. Yeah. I think Kevin did a very, very good job selling and kind of carrying that match with Stone Cold, who, let's be honest, is way past his prime. And I think you would put in a way past his prime CM Punk in there with a way past his prime Stone Cold, and it may not be the best result.
Yeah.
So I don't know how.
More so of a brawl. Maybe not necessarily full on street fight, but something that's a little bit not as technical or
Yeah, I don't know. No, I still think LA Knight will get a good spot at Mania. I think he still is going to go after the United States champion, which is fine. We've seen the mid-card titles kind of get elevated. Maybe he can do that with a United States champion. But, like Rumble, his odds got worse. Dethroning Roman, his odds got worse. Dethroning Seth, his odds got worse. So it's it'll be interesting to see. I'm rooting for LA Knight because I think they had something so organically happen, and we were just continuing to wait until that push was coming, and we finally got it. And now Phil's back, now Randy's back, and it's like, oh shit, LA Knight kind of is moving down.
Yeah, But at the same time, I mean, let's look at the positives. For a very long time, even with part-time champions, there weren't necessarily a whole lot of people you could feel were credible challengers to either world championship. Now on both shows, I mean, there are credible challengers that even people that may not necessarily walk away with the championship. I mean, Randy doing a program with Seth, should he do a heel turn for a while? I mean, there's still a lot of different ways you can mix these names in. There is a lot of potential. I mean, we're really just kind of talking about, I mean, it still kind of comes down to, when it comes to Rollins and Reigns, who's going to dethrone these guys for their titles? They're valid questions for both guys at this point. I mean, Seth Rollins is over 200 days at this point as far as being world champion. Quite frankly, his match with it, let's just say for the sake of this discussion, he does work Punk at Mania. That match doesn't need a title to be involved with it. It doesn't. And quite frankly, there's another way to open up a spot for 2 more guys, or even 3 more guys, do a triple threat or something, to give them some shine. So, yes, this changes the dynamic and landscape and placement of every guy at the top or upper mid card. But like I said, certain matchups involving Punk don't necessarily need championships with them.
That's fair. Like I said, LA Knight is a mega babyface, and Punk is going to get cheered no matter where he goes. I think they said WWE put out a statement or something that said Randy Orton and CM Punk are both free agents, so we will probably see them on multiple shows, which we shall see. That's all. That's all. CM Punk.
Yeah.
CM Punk. CM Punk.
That's good.
You're gonna have
go Cowboys.
How dare you?
All right, everybody, that'll do it for this edition of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. Thank you so much. Remember to hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. As always, thank you so much for joining us. That Landon Harrell interview will be dropping tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for joining us as we wrap up the end of the year. Oh, you Dallas Cowboys, go. For the podcast that I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast, and we'll talk to you guys soon.